What's up, guys? It's Jay with Bearded Dad Fishing, and I'm sad to say it, but pedal kayaks are dead. I think the industry is moving away from them, and I'm going to share with you guys 5 reasons why I think that is. So make sure you let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with me, and make sure you watch to the end because I'm going to give you a couple reasons why you should keep that pedal-driven kayak. But first, dad joke of the day: what music do you play when fishing? Something catchy. And that dad joke is brought to us by Ray Johnson of the Facebook group Kayak Fishing Dads. If you're not part of the group, head on over there and join the conversation. The number one reason pedal drive kayaks are dead is that motors are the future. Pedal drives have been around for a long time, more than 20 years, and they have gotten better year after year after year. But right now we're living in a motorized revolution. Even in 2020, with the drop of the Autopilot, which is still one of the most popular kayaks today, I have the Autopilot 136 and love it. Every new drop is coming out basically ready to rig out with a motor. Even the Native Titan X that came out last year in ICAST, it has a pedal drive, but really that thing is meant to be a motorized vessel. And look at the new drops from ICAST of this year. The Bonafide XTR 130, the Wilderness Systems Tactical Pro 128, those are motorized vessels. There's no way you're paddling around in those huge barges. And the reason motors have gotten more popular is that they are now accepted at every major tournament trail. So KBF, Bassmaster, Hobie BOS, and most of the local trails now are okay with motorized kayaks. Another driving force for motorized kayaks is the fact that motors are now more affordable. You don't have to spend $1,200, $1,500 on a good trolling motor. Even accessories like the Auto Boat, which you can attach to any regular trolling motor, a $100 trolling motor off the shelf, allowing it to become a GPS trolling motor, is giving rise to a whole new wave of possibilities. And I think the last driving factor for motorized kayaks is the fact that lithium batteries are now more affordable than ever. You don't have to choose anymore whether you want to spend $1,000 on a lithium battery or you want to lug around a 60-pound sealed lead acid battery. That's just not the case. You can now spend $300 or $400 and get an efficient and reliable lithium battery from several manufacturers. And the second reason pedal kayaks are dead is that they're too expensive. A good kayak from a reliable manufacturer with a pedal drive will range from $3,000 to $4,000. You'll find a couple options below that $3,000 mark, but in general, a good kayak brand new is going to be in that $3,000 to $4,000 range. And that's not even mentioning the Hobies of the world, with the Hobie Pro Angler being as much as $6,000 with the 360 drive. But when you compare the paddle version and the pedal version of the same kayak, a lot of times you're spending $1,500 or more just for that pedal drive. And that $1,500 can get you a really sweet motorized setup with a lithium battery and everything that you need. Shoot, you might even be able to buy a spare lithium battery for that price. And most people are already thinking ahead of getting their setup motorized. So if your end goal is to get it motorized, and Chad Hoover will vouch for this, just get the paddle-only version of the kayak and motorize it. It's going to save you a lot of money and trouble in the end. And the third reason pedal-driven kayaks are dead is that there has been a slowdown of innovation. There hasn't been a whole lot new in the world of pedal drives. Whether it's the fin drives or the prop drives, they've all been more or less the same the last couple years without any major changes. Some of the biggest changes that have happened are the EPDL coming out from Old Town that just makes it a motorized hybrid of what it was, and Feel Free has the same thing with their overdrive. I think they just dropped that they're going to have a 48-volt overdrive system in their pedal kayaks, which I think is a little bit overkill, but that's really been the only new thing in the world of pedal kayaks. And when it comes to fin drives, honestly, man, fin drives are fin drives. They're either Hobie fin drives or they're everything else. Pelican, Vibe, Van Hunks, most of their fin drives work on the same old patent that Hobie had 10 years ago. And reason number 4 pedal drive kayaks are dead is that in shallow water, paddle kayaks are king. A pedal drive will drop 16 to 18 inches below your hull. So if you're in shallow, rocky water, you're gonna bang it up pretty bad. And even worse, if you have one of those pedal drives that doesn't kick up on impact, you can risk breaking and cracking your hull because your hull is going to take the brunt of that force every time you bang into something. In addition to shallow water like rivers and creeks, if you fish a lot of vegetated waters, grassy waters, you don't even want a pedal drive for that, because the only thing that's going to happen is going to get all mucked up and nasty, and you're going to be cleaning it up all the time. Even in that situation, you're probably not going to even want a motor. So if you have a paddle kayak with a motor, and you're gonna fish shallow water or grassy water, just take it out for the day and use your paddles, and that's all you need to do. And the fifth reason pedal drive kayaks are dead is that it crowds up your deck. Take a look at any pedal kayak, 10 foot, 12 foot, 13 foot, it doesn't matter. If it has a pedal drive, it's gonna eat up the entire front deck of your kayak. So what does that mean? Less accessories, less space to stand up, and overall just feeling crowded. You're already in a small kayak, why crowd it with something else that doesn't need to be there? And I'm not a super tall dude, I'm just shy of 6 foot, but I still like to stretch out on my kayak, and when I'm on my autopilot 136, boy, I could almost lay down in that thing, and it's nice just having that big open space. And if you're a big fan of those captain's bridges or those crossbars, you can't do that with a pedal drive. I have the Sasquatch design crossbar on my autopilot, and I love it. I get my fish finder on there, my roto grip for my net, my yak power controller, and really the customization is limitless. You're no longer limited to just your left side and your right side. Now you have your left, your right, and in front of you to do what you wish. But hold on, I'm not saying get rid of your pedal drive kayak. I have my Old Town Sportsman PDL 120 and I absolutely love it. I'm not gonna get rid of it just because I think the industry's moving away from pedal drive kayaks. There are some reasons I think might still fit for someone to buy a pedal drive kayak. The first one is that it gives you a good leg workout. Some people like to incorporate exercise into fishing, and some people, that's even the reason they got into it. It was for me in the beginning, is I wanted to get more exercise. With a pedal-driven kayak, you get a really good leg workout, especially if you're out there for 3, 4, 6 hours. We've been out there as long as 10 hours on a pedal drive kayak, and you will burn them calories off. So if exercise is your thing, maybe you still want to keep that pedal drive around. Another reason you might want to keep your pedal drive kayak is the fact that you don't need any registration on a pedal drive. Most states require you to register your motorized kayak, and that could be even adding an electric trolling motor. You still have to register it, and that's some extra fees, extra waiting time, and in some cases extra hassle that you wouldn't have to deal with otherwise if you just didn't motorize it from the beginning. Another reason you might want to keep your pedal drive kayak is the fact that it provides peace of mind through redundancy with the pedal drive. So if you're out there on the water and you got your motor and you have your pedal drive and your battery dies or your motor just stops working, whatever it is, then you can pedal yourself to wherever you have to go. If you're stuck with just the motor and no pedal drive, then you got to whip out your paddle and paddle that bad boy. But a lot of these 13 foot, 12 foot, 14 foot kayaks are not fun to paddle. Even in an emergency situation, you might want to rethink that. And besides the redundancy, you also have the opportunity to get a smaller battery. So if you're relying on a motor for the entire trip, you're going to want to get a big battery, 100 amp hour battery. If you're just relying on the motor to get you there and then you pedal the rest of the times, you pedal in and out of the docks, in and out of the structure, then you're not going to use as much juice on your battery. And maybe instead of 100 amp hour, you can get a 50 amp hour or 40 amp hour and feel totally comfortable with that. Another reason you might want to keep your pedal drive kayak is that you're a minimalist. If you have a pedal drive without a motor, that's a lot less stuff you have to bring with you. When you have a motor, you got to bring your motor, you got to bring your battery. If it has a kill switch, you got to make sure you have your kill switch, and you got to bring things to service it just in case. Whenever you're working with electricity, then you got to worry about corroded parts and this or that. If you don't have any of that and you just have a paddle or you have a pedal drive system, then you don't have to worry about that, and your minimalism will save you some of that extra work. And the last reason I think you might want to keep your pedal drive kayak is that you got it for cheap. There's a lot of cheap kayaks out there being sold, and I'm not talking about cheap like poor quality. I'm just talking about a good deal. A lot of people are getting their pedal drive kayaks and realizing I want a motorized setup, or kayaking is not for me, and they're selling them on Craigslist, on Facebook Marketplace for sometimes 30 or 40% off of retail. So if you got it cheap, bro, just keep it. You can't go wrong with it. In the end, I'm not gonna get rid of my pedal drive, but I do think the industry is moving away from pedal-driven kayaks in general. And if you guys disagree with me, make sure you comment down below and let me know why. And I'd love to hear from an industry expert like the Bearded Paddler. Let me know, bro, do you think the industry is moving away from pedal-driven kayaks? So till next time, guys, peace and God bless.